Well, as you can see, it will be the Steelers starting with the football in this game as Carney will kick it away for the Saints. On the return, it's Najee Davenport. Has blocking, has the sideline, and a good start for the Steelers. Forced out by Lewis after a return of 39 yards. And while the Steelers have had all kinds of problems with Santonio Holmes as their kick returner, last week laying it on the ground against Denver, Najee Davenport gets the ball up to midfield, and that's where Ben Roethlisberger, you see him with his 7 touchdowns and 14 picks, will set up. Handoff is to Willie Parker. And Willie Parker picks up 3. Up front, this is a good offensive line, but they are without Jeff Hardings, their starting center, out again with the knee injury. Chucky Okobi gets the start at center. And then the backs and receivers fast. Willie Parker, and the running back so far, has 634 yards. That's the 9th best total in the NFL. This is a Steeler team that wants to run the ball more. Second down and 7 out of the shotgun, and that pass is knocked away. Najee Davenport on a screen, and it was Grant who got his hand up and batted it down. It's 3rd and 7. Here's the defensive line. The play just made by Charles Grant. Will Smith on the other side. And I think one of the surprises, Troy, has been the play of this linebacking core, Fujita, Simoneau, and Shanley.
It's a group of linebackers that joined this team right before the season began, and I agree with you, Joe. They run very well. Not an overly talented group, but they make up for that with effort.
3rd down and 7. Roethlisberger fires, and that pass is caught. It's a catch for a first down by Hines Ward. Looked like the ball may have popped out. An 8-yard completion and a first down for the Steelers.
I think the question is, was he able to secure the catch? I mean, there it is in his chest. Looked initially, the ball did, well, kind of hard to tell, but initially it looked like he made the reception, and then maybe the ball was loose, but there won't be a review.
From just inside the 40. And off to Parker. And Parker gets half a yard. Scott Fujita on the stop. So here we go. We can finally kind of set this game up a little more as you look at the Steeler offense. This is a Steeler team that, with all those turnovers the last 3 weeks, has moved the ball better than any team in the NFL, and Roethlisberger has put up huge numbers.
Yeah, in fact, coming off a big game last week against Denver, he still had the 3 interceptions, only one of which was real significant. Threw the ball well, but this team overall had 6 turnovers, and that's what got them beat.
Second down and 9. Najee Davenport ran into the waiting arms of Fujita. A gain of 2. And it will be 3rd down and long. And this is really a matchup, Troy. If you look at the public, this is an underdog Saints team coming in here to Pittsburgh with a record of 6-2, taking on a 2-6 team. The Steelers are favored in this game.
Well, and I think people recognize that even though they come into this game with a 2-6 record, it's still the same cast of players that won the Super Bowl a year ago. This is a very talented group with a lot of weapons, and it's just a matter of them not beating themselves, and something they've been unable to avoid throughout this season.
3rd down and 7. A pocket for Roethlisberger, and Hines Ward is open. So good in the open field, good enough for the touchdown.
We saw Ben Roethlisberger walking off the field, took a shot. He hangs in there in the pocket. Not sure exactly what happened to Ben in the pocket, but there's Hines Ward getting in behind Jason Kraft there in the secondary in just an open spot. And then Hines Ward able to take it all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Ward comes in red hot. Last 3 games, 28 catches, 4 touchdowns. And he and the Steelers off to a flying start here as they hope to get on a streak and make up ground in the division. They start with a 7-0 lead as Reed knocks it through. Roethlisberger appears to be okay, holding his hand after the touchdown throw of 37 yards to Hines Ward. Good start for the Steelers. Up on
Ben Roethlisberger picking up where he left off last week. And Hines Ward, I mean, this guy's been playing some awfully good football here over the last 5 ball games.
Reed kicks it away, and it's Michael Lewis waiting for it for the Saints. Lewis is swallowed up at the 22. Sean Morey on the stop. Here's the return by Najee Davenport. He set it up, got it to midfield. And from 37 yards out, Hines Ward with his 6th of the year. 7-0 Pittsburgh. Checking it out over on the sideline, gripping the football, and now we turn our attention to the Saints. Handoff is to McAllister, and Deuce with a nice first carry picks up 6. Joey Porter on the stop, and here is the offensive line. The Saints get Jamal Brown back. He missed last week's game with a sprained ankle. Zach Strief played well in his absence. And the backs and receivers, McAllister and Reggie Bush, who is still trying to figure out the pro game, especially as a running back, averaging only 2.6 yards per carry. That's Bush in motion. Looking left all the way, and the pass is complete. Ball comes out. Steelers on top of it. And they take over. Billy Miller had it, lost it, and it's Kiesel on top of it for the Steelers.
Yeah, they went empty set. They just get the ball to the tight end, Miller, and he's got it, and he gets held up, and then the ball comes out of his hands. He didn't have a real good grip on it after he made the reception. Tell you, not a great start here for the New Orleans Saints. They give up a touchdown on the first possession to the Pittsburgh offensively, and now on their first possession they turn it over.
You know, the Steelers are trying to run a quick play. The Saints might want another look at that. But now you can forget about it as the handoff is to Willie Parker. And Parker is down inside the 30, picked up 4. I'm not so sure that that catch was secured by Billy Miller before it was ripped out of there, and the Steelers' Brett Kiesel fell on top of it for the recovery. He's got it trapped against his body. He's juggling it all the way down, and I'm not sure that wouldn't have been reversed. But as it is, the Steelers have it now, 2nd down and 7. Parker again. A lot of Willie Parker, and Willie Parker is brought down just shy of first down yardage.
You know, so many times you get into a game like this with a team like Pittsburgh that has had the season kind of get away from them, and they're just looking for something positive to happen early. And if that doesn't happen, if the Saints come in and do something good early, then oftentimes it's easy to see a team not play as hard the rest of the way. Now here Pittsburgh comes in. They get the good return by Najee Davenport. They get the touchdown to Hines Ward. And then defensively, they immediately get the turnover, something of which they've not gotten a lot of this season.
It's only their 2nd fumble recovery, which is the fewest in the NFL. They've had no trouble with interceptions. And that's how far Willie Parker shy of first down yardage by inches. It'll be 3rd down for the Steelers. It's a Pittsburgh defense that had just the 1 fumble recovery, 12 interceptions, but the overall plus-minus ratio of -11 is the worst in the NFL. One of 4 teams in the league that can boast about the fact that they're a top 10 offense, a top 10 defense, and they're 2-6. 3rd and inches. Roethlisberger keeps it and has it. 1st down Pittsburgh as Ben picked up 2.
Ben's such a big quarterback, even though I think we were both surprised on Friday when we visited with him just how much weight he has lost from last year. But still that, when you only need to pick up a yard or so, and you've got a guy that has the size of a Ben Roethlisberger, that's a good call, just letting him get in behind the offensive line and pick up the first down.
There's the start for Roethlisberger, the touchdown throw to Ward. A 7-0 lead, and the handoff is to Parker going sideways, and he's forced out by Stoutmire. Picked up one. Yeah, he said, I could write a book about how to lose weight, but you don't want to lose weight the way I had to lose weight, which is obviously the motorcycle accident June 12th, his time in the hospital, then the emergency appendectomy right before opening day. And he is noticeably smaller when you sit there and talk with him.
And I think those reasons that you mentioned also have a lot to do with some of the inconsistency that we've seen from his play. Now, he won't acknowledge that, but talking to Bill Cowher and then Ken Whisenhunt, the offensive coordinator, they certainly believe that those events have led to some of the inconsistency.
2nd down and 9, and the pass is complete. 1st down Steelers. Cedric Wilson good for 10.
This offensive line has done a good job here early in this game. Even when he hurt his hand, the protection was pretty good. And then getting the ball to Cedric Wilson. And this is a group of wide receivers that overall is pretty talented. I mean, Hines Ward, obviously an exceptional player. And then you combine him with Cedric Wilson and Santonio Holmes, the rookie, along with Heath Miller. It's a pretty good group.
1st down and goal. The handoff is to Parker. Trying to bounce it. Parker down inside the 5. Semino dragged him down. A gain of 8. 2nd down and goal.
I think a lot of times when you start talking about running backs and guys that are extremely fast, as Willie Parker is, then a lot of times you don't realize just how powerful those backs are. And Willie Parker is a much more powerful runner and a much stronger back than what people recognize. He's able to move piles, he's able to break through tackles, and then of course he's got the speed to get on the edge.
Saints have struggled defensively inside the red zone. Teams 11 for their last 11 trying to punch it in. Parker is short, 3rd and goal. Mike McKenzie off the corner into help on the stop.
Yeah, Mike McKenzie and Danny Clark both got there and were able to make the stop. Now it's a big 3rd and goal for Pittsburgh.
3rd and goal at the 2.
There's Clark in on the tackle. And, this defense for New Orleans, they're not a real big group, but they play hard. They fly around to the football, and all 11 guys get to the football.
This would be a big stop defensively for the Saints if they could keep the Steelers out of the end zone. Play action. Roethlisberger wide open for the touchdown. Heath Miller gets touchdown number 3.
Third down is so hard for a defense. You're expecting run, and you go play action. You certainly have to honor the run. A well-designed play and good execution by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You can see Bill Cowher writing on his note card. Good things happen when we recover fumbles. Don't turn it over in the red zone and jump out in front of a 6-2 team by 2 touchdowns. The fumble by Miller. The touchdown by Miller. 2 different teams, both wear 83 and a 14-0 Pittsburgh lead. Giving him 9 on the year to go with the 14 interceptions, and here comes New Orleans and Michael Lewis. Hit it hard. Good return by Lewis. Exactly what the Saints needed as Michael Lewis is forced out at the New Orleans 48. A 43-yard return by Lewis, giving the Saints down 14. Great starting field position at Tampa Bay. He's at least here in Pittsburgh. Tried it before the game, couldn't go. In that game against the Bucs, Drew Brees had his best game with New Orleans. Down 14. Brees to put it up, and he completes it. A nice gain and a first down throw as the catch is made by the rookie Marcus Colston, a gain of 8. Let's welcome in Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Joe. Reggie Bush, dead last in the NFL in yards per carry. But when I spoke to him before the game, he gave me that whole "what do you mean" look when I asked him how he's handling the scrutiny regarding his production or lack thereof as a rusher. He said, that doesn't mean anything to me. I have met my expectations since being with the New Orleans Saints. He said, I wanted to help the team win, and I wanted to contribute in whatever way I could. That big rush, that big day on the ground is coming. No doubt about it. It's coming.
All right, well, it remains to be seen, and after Carney got it on a quick snap, it's now 3rd down and 1 for the Saints, with Bush on the sideline and McAllister in the lineup. Hand off to Deuce. McAllister fights his way forward, and with a generous spot, it looks like the Saints just picked up a first down.
That looked like contact was made well short of the first down, but Deuce was able to get just enough.
And it is a first down.
I think it's interesting going back to what Pam said. You know, Deuce McAllister, overall, this Saints team has not run the ball all that well. Although when Deuce McAllister has run the football, he's running the ball a little over 4 yard per carry average. And so it's not just a matter of the offensive line only blocking for him and not blocking for Reggie. I think he's trying to do a little too much.
McAllister, after initial contact, turns it into a nice gain on first down of 4. Casey Hampton got there first, but McAllister broke loose.
You know, Sean Payton has said that in talking with Reggie Bush, he's tried to talk to him about that not every play and not every run can be a home run, that it's okay to hit a few singles and then eventually the big plays will come. But when you've been in the program that he was in college and you've made the plays that he's accustomed to making, sometimes that's a habit that's hard to break.
2nd down and 6. Brees with time, threw it right into the waiting arms of Larry Foote. And he had an easy free pass for another Pittsburgh touchdown, but he dropped it.
Well, Larry Foote was right there to make the play, and Drew Brees just does not see him. You see the throw there. That's a good look at what the quarterback's seeing, but when you got offensive linemen in front of you, you don't see the linebacker who's coming underneath it to make the play, and I think that says it all right there, the missed opportunities that this team has had over the course of this season.
The Saints may be in 2-down territory on 3rd and 6. They're in between yardage, and we will have flags and whistles and a false start. Bill Carollo is the referee.
False start. 78. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's the big right tackle, John Stinchcomb. Brings up 3rd down and 11.
I know Sean Payton talked about this game because of the fact the Saints coming into this game 6-2 and the Steelers at 2-6. He knew very well that it was going to be a very tough physical ball game, and already the way it's gone here in the first quarter.
Brees helping with the protection. That's Terrence.
Type of attention than Marcus Colston, the rookie, Tampa, and then that's why Terrence Copper gets the single coverage on the out.
Handoff is to Reggie Bush. Picks up 5. You know what I think it points out? It's just another reminder of how big a jump it is from college football to the NFL. Nobody could stop Reggie Bush at USC. Nobody could stop Vince Young playing at Texas, and both are off to slow starts in the NFL.
Well, it is a huge jump, and it's usually not as big a jump for someone who comes from such a big program like USC, the type of talent that they're accustomed to going up against. But, you know, we've seen some of the growing pains of Reggie Bush here over the first half.
2nd down and 5. Bush trying to cut it up inside, and he is brought down by Joey Porter, a gain of only 1.
I think that one of the biggest surprises to me hasn't been so much the struggles within the running game. I think those things will come. And definitely he has an impact on this team when they do line him up as a wide receiver. Defenses certainly have to account for him. But that he's only averaging a little over 6 yards per reception. That's the part of it that surprises me the most.
It's 3rd down and 4. Brees with time, fires and completes out of the backfield. It's Stecker. And Aaron Stecker has a Saints first down, a completion of 9 yards. So 2 big 3rd down completions by Drew Brees on this drive.
Yeah, and this was not an easy completion to make either. It was a perfect throw. It's good coverage. Aaron Stecker running what's called an option route. But Joey Porter there to make a play and was in good coverage to make the play. But because of the throw, he wasn't able to get a hand on the ball.
First down and goal, and the handoff is to Reggie Bush.
Bush on the carry.
Gets it down inside the 5. Picked up 3.
You know, I think this is an area of the field down here in the red zone where the Saints they've struggled offensively. They've not struggled in a lot of areas, but they have struggled in the red zone, only scoring touchdowns about 42% of the time when they get down here, about 29th in the National Football League. And part of that is because they have not run the ball more effectively than what they have.
Second down and goal. A little cutback from Reggie Bush, and he won't get there. Thrown backward, picked up 1. 3rd and goal.
You know, this Pittsburgh defense, although they've not created a lot of turnovers, they've been very tough to run the football against. When you look at that group up front, that front 7, you can see why.
12th play of the drive, play action. Brees could have run it in, throws it in for the touchdown. Terrence Copper. A little rollout from Drew Brees, and if he didn't want to tiptoe into the end zone, he decided to fling it into the arms of Terrence Copper, who gets his first touchdown of the year.
Well, just another exceptional throw by Drew Brees. When you watch the location of where this ball was, down and away, where only Copper could make the play. Anywhere else, there's a chance that Ike Taylor would be able to put a hand on the ball, but a good throw by Drew Brees.
It was set up on the return by Michael Lewis out to the New Orleans 48, and then Drew Brees took care of the rest. 3 3rd down pass completions, including the one on 3rd and goal, to Terrence Copper. And cheering on his team today, Sean Payton and the Saints dive into that Pittsburgh lead.
That he was able to make the conversions there on 3rd down, obviously what kept that drive alive, but a great drive on their part.
I just thought we'd point it out again. Why not? Short kick, and Davenport on the dead run makes a nice catch and gives the Steelers decent starting field position after a 10-yard return. We look back for the Saints. Sean Payton has definitely brought a new attitude. Drew Brees has been in control from day one. And it was a draft day bonanza. They have to hope as this season unfolds. But not just Reggie Bush, but Marcus Colston, finding him with the 4th to last pick. And he's putting together some kind of rookie season. But now it's the Steelers with the ball, up by 7. Play action from Roethlisberger, and the pass is complete. Santonio Holmes wrestled down by McKenzie, a gain of 10, a first down, and Chris Rose is hanging out, waiting for a game break.
Hi, Joe. Seneca Wallace has done a real nice job filling in for the injured Matt Hasselbeck. Here he finds Darrell Jackson, his 7th touchdown grab of the year. The Seahawks, however, down 3 to the Rams. Near the start of the 2nd. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Chris, thank you. Here it's 14-7 as we wind down the first quarter, and the Steelers, if they don't want to, don't have to run another play. They're not going to. That's it. No more for the first quarter here in Pittsburgh. 14-7, the Steelers on top. Got off to a flying start. An answer from the Saints. Back after this. Because I'm likely to forget, let me tell you that Troy Polamalu took a blow to the head, and his return is questionable on that last drive by the Saints. Right now it's Pittsburgh with the ball, first down. As as we start the second quarter. From the 42, they hand off to Willie Parker, and Parker pushes the pile and picks up 3. How about this game earlier? And LaDainian Tomlinson, he gets 104 yards. You've got 90 total points in the game. You see what Carson Palmer did. Chad Johnson had a huge day, 260 yards. 975 total yards of offense. Phillip Rivers, 3 touchdown throws. And the Chargers came all the way back and won that game with 42 points in the second half. Parker bouncing it outside, nowhere to go. He turns it into a positive play of 1 as Jason Kraft made the stop. Third down coming up. We will be in New York at the Meadowlands for the Jets. They will host the Bears. Also, you see Atlanta and the Ravens. Good games. San Francisco won today. That is next week on Fox NFL Sunday, and it was the Jets today hanging on to win at New England on a nasty, sloppy day. They won by 3 points.
Yeah, that was an impressive win, and then obviously a big game tonight between the Bears and Giants.
Gosh, I love talking about the whole league, don't you? It's 3rd down and 6. Roethlisberger in trouble over the middle, throws incomplete for Hines Ward. And it's a 4th down now for Pittsburgh as the Saints defense finally will force a punt.
Yeah, that's the first time that the Steelers failed to convert there on 3rd down. The Saints finally able to get a little pressure on Ben Roethlisberger. Charles Grant was able to come up the middle and force Roethlisberger to get rid of the ball a little earlier than what he wanted to.
Michael Lewis has an 8-yard average for punt returns, and Chris Gardocki, who has 1,142 career punts, with 0 blocked. Make it 11:43, an ugly punt. And Lewis will watch it bounce backward. So they'll start at their 20. It's a 14-7 Pittsburgh lead after a 33-yard punt from Chris Gardocki. Saints ball. Been dinged on that hit of Reggie Bush. So it's Tyrone Carter at safety with Ryan Clark, and here is McAllister. Deuce, who is coming off a torn ACL last year, right knee, picks up 4.
I tell you what, if Pittsburgh's not able to get Polamalu back in the lineup, I mean, that's going to be pretty significant for this defensive group. Of course, Polamalu is such a significant part as far as what they're doing in his blitzing and up around the line of scrimmage. And I know Ryan Clark has allowed him to be more aggressive this year, but without him, they're going with Tyrone Carter. They'll miss him out on the field.
2nd down and 6. Pressure on Breeze, and he throws low and away for Reggie Bush. 3rd and 6. See some of these scores scrolling by, including Philadelphia breaking that 3-game losing streak as they took apart the Washington Redskins. And in that game, Clinton Portis broke his hand. That might do it for Washington this year. There's that crazy game, San Diego and Cincinnati. 3rd down and 6. Breeze over the middle, completes it to Colston, and the rookie into Steeler territory. Marcus Colston, who came in with 44 catches and 700 yards, is good for 27.
Well, and again, Drew Brees has time in the pocket. This offensive line really has done a good job all season long. Came in with only 8 sacks, and then Marcus Colston. I mean, this is a big guy that can really run, and with each week he gets more and more confidence. I mean, you watch him run through some of these tackles. He was able to get to the middle of the field, which was where the weakness was in that defense, and Brees had time to find him.
By far right now the leading candidate for the Rookie of the Year award as Brees drops it down to Mark Campbell. And Campbell picks up 8. There is a penalty flag down on the field. But right now we meet Marcus Colston and learn more about him, his childhood hero, Barry Sanders. Favorite school subject, math. That's where he and I go our separate ways. Nightclub bouncer, his first job. Favorite movie, The Last Dragon. And 1 year ago today was preparing for a game against the arch rival Fighting Blue Hens of the University of Delaware while playing for Hofstra.
You know, he kind of looked like Barry Sanders on that previous play when he was making those people miss.
On that last play, there was an illegal contact.
Is accepted. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
They called it against Deshae Townsend. And the 5-yard penalty brings up a first down for the Saints inside the Steeler 45.
The game clock.
And there's a call right there.
Yeah, there wasn't much to it, but they got Deshae Townsend on the call. And, you know, Marcus Colston has had such a good first half of this season. And, you know, you ask yourself, gosh, how did this guy fall so far in the draft to the 7th round? But one of it was he played at a small college. And then he also had some injuries there while he was at college at Hofstra.
Play action from Breeze. And Breeze out of the pocket just throws it away. Troy, a couple of times, you've talked about the time that Breeze has had. First of all, from the Steelers side, they have always defended the pass by getting pressure on the quarterback. And on the Saints side, they've come in with a league-low 8 sacks allowed. They've done a good job all year of protecting Drew Brees.
Well, they have, and I think it's a couple things. One, this offensive line, which coming in, I mean, I don't know that anybody thought that they could play at the level in which they've played. But also, Drew Brees is a quarterback that won't take unnecessary sacks.
Hand off to McAllister, and Deuce is near the 40, picked up 4, another third down.
And what I mean by that is when he does have a free blitzer that gets in his face, he's not going to take the sack. He's going to get the ball out of his hands. And that's what I like about Drew Brees. I mean, I don't like using the term manage the game, but he knows situations and he understands how to play the position. And I don't think there's a lot of guys in this league that really understand that. He's not the most gifted quarterback. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not all that mobile, but he really understands situations and how to play within each one of those plays.
New Orleans 5 for 5 on third down, and falling down, the catch is made. A little short of first down yardage is Terrence Copper, who has a touchdown in this game. And we'll see what the Saints want to do. They could very well go for it here on fourth down.
Well, and it looks like they're going to. Sean Payton looking at his call sheet.
You don't look at that if you're going to kick a field goal, do you?
You don't look at it like that. And those call sheets, they keep getting bigger and bigger. There was a time the call sheets were on about a 8.5 by 11 sheet. That's not the case any longer.
Fourth and a long one. Pass over the middle is caught. That's Colston. The rookie is down inside the 30, and a flag comes in on the tackle. The flag came in at the very end of the play as Colston was good for 9 yards and a first down.
Face mask. 27. Defense. 5-yard only. Grab and release. Enforced from the end of the run. First down.
That is the rookie safety, Anthony Smith, guilty of the incidental face mask.
Yeah, right there at the very end of the play. And the Steelers, they bring some pressure on that. Pretty obvious why it's only the 5-yard variety, but they bring pressure, but no one picked up Marcus Colston.
Play action from Breeze, and steps up and fires. The pass is caught. What a catch by Colston, diving for the grab in front of Ike Taylor. 15 yards, it's first and goal.
Well, they're going to go post corner on the route. He's more open on the post than what he was when he went back out to the corner. Good coverage there by Ike Taylor, someone who many thought might get benched this week.
Quick snap, so the Steelers can't review it, and a penalty flag on the play in the end zone. Ike Taylor came up the back of Terrence Copper, and we'll see if this will set it up at the 1.
I was talking about Ike Taylor and the struggles that he had last week against Javon Walker and the Denver Broncos. There was discussion about him not even being the starter coming into this ball game. He's been on the receiving end, or at least covering, whether it be Copper or Marcus Colston, trying to cover them, and then pass interference here.
There's no foul for illegal contact. The quarterback was out of the pocket. Incomplete pass. Second down.
So they're going to pick up the flag as Breeze had rolled out to his right. See, Dallas jumps out in front in the desert 10-0, and we go back to the play.
Yeah, here's Terrence Copper. Definitely contact was made. You can see why the flag was thrown. But with Drew Brees outside the pocket, then they picked up the flag.
Second and goal, Reggie Bush can't stay in bounds. Third and goal. Larry Foote out there to force him out.
Hey, this has been pretty impressive what New Orleans has done on the previous possession, going right down the field and getting the touchdown, and then what they've been able to do on this possession offensively. Sean Payton, obviously the head coach, but he does call the plays just like he did during his time with the Dallas Cowboys.
Third down and goal. Brees to McAllister. Well played by the Steelers. Brian McFadden came up to help make the stop. Joey Porter was the first one there for Pittsburgh. It's fourth down, and you expect to see the field goal unit, and now here they come for the Saints to make this a 4-point game.
You're going to see Joey Porter. He started to rush, and then he realized that Deuce McAllister was his man. Does a pretty good job of being able to catch up to him and help make a play.
This is basically an extra point for John Carney, although it counts for 3. The 20-yard try is perfect. Carney is 15 out of 16 on the year. And after jumping out in front 14-0, the Steeler lead is 14-10.
Around the league, I think everyone around the league knows that this Pittsburgh team, even though at 2-6, they're still a good football team.
And everybody keeps talking about who will get home field advantage in the NFC and that battle tonight. Chicago and the Giants. Do not count out the Saints. Najee Davenport with his second big return here in this first half, out to the 40-yard line. And up by 4, Roethlisberger and company to work after a 31-yard return by Davenport. Ball resting at the Pittsburgh 40. And the Saints. 8:16 left in the half, and Willie Parker tries the right side, and he is wrestled down by Hollis Thomas. No gain, and here is Chris Rose with a game break. Chris.
Joe, out in Arizona, Dallas with a 10-0 lead now. Tony Romo to Patrick Creighton. Look at the tippy toe into the end zone. 30 yards on that one. And Troy, because I know you care so much, T.O. 1 catch for 2 yards. Guys?
Well, thanks for the update.
1 catch, 2 yards, and no sleeping on the football in the end zone yet from Terrell Owens. 2nd and 10. Saints come with a blitz. Roethlisberger in trouble, and he is wrestled down by Shanley. Scott Shanley wraps up Ben Roethlisberger, and in the process gets sack number 3 on the year. They didn't disguise it. They lined up, and they all came after him.
No, they showed it, and here they come. They just didn't squeeze it down. The Pittsburgh offensive line didn't, and Ben Roethlisberger just had nowhere to go with the ball. This is a Saints defense that likes to bring pressure with their linebackers. They don't bring secondary players all that much, but these linebackers, both Shanley and Fujita, are very active guys.
Third down and 16. Roethlisberger looking for somewhere to go with it. The catch is made, but way short of the first down. Shanley on the stop, Miller on the catch, and a 4th down for the Steelers.
That was a good job there by the Saints defense. You talked about it as far as the field position to start this drive. Each team getting good field position to start their drives, but the Pittsburgh Steelers where they were, and for the Saints to force them to punt. A nice job on their part.
So now Reggie Bush will wait for the punt from Gardocki. Has one return for a touchdown that basically won an October 8th matchup in New Orleans against the Buccaneers. Gardocki hits a knuckleball, and Bush doesn't have much room to run. Just a 6-yard return, and Sean Morey on the tackle for the Steelers. The New Orleans Saints offense back to work. There's Joe Vitt, who was an interim coach when the Rams had Mike Martz on the sidelines last year. Vitt runs this linebacking group for the Saints. He's done a nice job. Shanley a big part of that last stop for New Orleans. Handoff is to Deuce McAllister, gets 7, and we go down to Pam Oliver. Pam.
Yeah, Joe, Troy Polamalu continues to remain on the bench. He's trying to shake off the cobwebs after that blow to the head. A Steelers team doctor, literally, almost like a spotter, just stands next to him, watching him like a hawk. When he was approached by some trainers a little while ago, they said something that made him laugh. He's listed as questionable, but he make no attempt to leave the bench to go out to the field. It's not looking good.
Yeah, thank you, Pam. He hasn't moved from that spot since we saw him there after making that hit on Reggie Bush with 2nd down and 3. And a toss and a 1st down carry for Deuce McAllister. Almost lost it on the toss. He picked up 5 and a fresh set of downs for the Saints.
You know, we saw the hit that Polamalu made on McAllister that forced him out of the game, and you see more and more of that, it seems, that when guys are getting injured, they got their heads down. You know, you don't see the head up on most tackles. And, you know, in the National Football League and even in college, you just don't spend a lot of time anymore working on the fundamentals of tackling. It's amazing that Troy Polamalu hasn't had more injuries than what he's had because he's such a physical guy when he's out there on the field playing.
Hagan's coming on a blitz. Breeze gets away, but not for long. Sacked for the 9th time this year, and it's Brett Kiesel who brings him down. Loss of 5 on the sack by Kiesel, his 3rd of the year.
Yeah, and you see Colston, he's running a crossing route. Ike Taylor in coverage on him. Looked initially like he was trying to go to the corner. Had he have had a little bit more time to get underneath to Colston, he would have been able to get the ball in his hands, but the Steelers there were able to get some pressure on him.
2nd down and 15. Handoff to McAllister. Picked up 4, 3rd down and long coming up for the Saints, who have been good on 3rd down today. Another early game look at the Brett Favre Green Bay Packers. Now here's Green Bay. They go in and they win in Minnesota. This league is getting more and more difficult to figure out week to week. Frank Gore with a big day as San Francisco wins. And Donald Driver, a guy Brett Favre hooked up with all day long. So Favre and the Packers get a win over the Vikings, who are now under 500. Breeze over the middle has Colston. What a throw. Just dropped it right in, and Drew Brees good for 29 yards and another completion on 3rd down.
Well, the Steelers are going to play that 2-deep safety look. Here are the safeties, and here's the hole in that defense. Now you're going to see Colston. He's going to get to the middle on that, and then it's just a matter of one-on-one coverage. Now he's able to beat Anthony Smith in the slot position, and a good job by Brees putting it in his hands.
How did he hang on after juggling it, then getting the hit? 1st down Saints, and Brees gets rid of it, avoids a sack, threw it in the direction of Billy Miller. And it's 2nd and 10, and that's more of what you talked about earlier. Sometimes it's not that pretty, but instead of taking a loss, it's now 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 15 or 16.
Yeah, he really has done a great job for this team, and I don't know that he has surprised people within the Saints organization. I know he hasn't surprised Sean Payton. And when they went out and they wanted to sign him, and once they got him signed, they felt that he was going to play at the level that he had shown there with San Diego.
A little pump fake, looking back over the middle. The pass complete to Reggie Bush. A flag is down, and it's down in the area where Brees was hit after the play. And they are going to get a roughing the passer or a late hit on Aaron Smith. It'll be a huge call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, 91, hitting the quarterback below his knee, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
You can see Aaron Smith come in low. He wasn't blocked low. He looked like he might have just got stumbled. It wasn't even much of a hit, but that is a point of emphasis that these officials said that they were going to call. They're trying to keep the quarterbacks healthy.
There's the reaction by Cowher, and Troy, you can hear the fans as they play it on the video board. And now Joey Porter's going nuts on Bill Carollo, screaming about that call.
Yeah, and Joey Porter was already fined this week for some comments he made to some officials in a previous game.
So they showed it on the board, the crowd coming down on the officiating crew after that call on Aaron Smith, still letting the officials have it. Meanwhile, Deshae Townsend was shaken up on that last play, tackling Reggie Bush, and he had to get helped off the field. But the penalty was on Aaron Smith for that. The low hit on Drew Brees, and I think Smith and Brees were both surprised to see the flag, as the ball's now at the 15.
Yeah, surprised because it wasn't a more flagrant hit than what it was. The officials told to make the call. You may not like the rule, but the call was right.
On first down, a double reverse as Reggie Bush gets it, picks his way and leaps for the touchdown. Reggie Bush gets his first touchdown from scrimmage. And it comes on the reverse, with Reggie showing just how high he can get up into the end zone, and the Saints have the lead.
Yeah, and they ran something similar to this earlier in the season against the Falcons, and Reggie Bush gets bottled up right there. And then he's just able to leap over the top, similar to what we saw an awful lot of there in college with USC.
He has been waiting for that, wanting that, and Reggie Bush gets his first touchdown from scrimmage, his only other score on the punt return. And Reggie Bush with the congratulations. You're right, it was like that play they ran against the Atlanta Falcons when they reopened the Superdome on that Monday night in September. And with that extra point, it's a 3-point Saints lead, and they have made a statement here in the first half. On the road at Pittsburgh, down 14-0 with 17 unanswered points.
Well, it's the double reverse, and you're going to see the handoff from, or actually it's a toss from Marcus Colston right here. And so many times when a receiver is trying to hand the ball off, they're not able to make a good exchange. So it's a little risky, but sometimes it's a little easier than to make the change. But a good job by Reggie Bush being able to go over the top and get it into the end zone.
So Bush with the congratulations on the sideline, and at the risk of repeating what we've talked about for the majority of this first half after watching the Steelers jump out 14-0. Man, this is saying something by the New Orleans Saints. I still think a team that's overlooked in the NFC.
I think they're definitely, overlooked to some degree. I think that with each week that they play well, I mean, they're going to continually get noticed. But, they knew that this was going to be a tough game coming in, and you get down the way that they did. I agree. I think it says a lot for them. Not that I'm surprised by it, but I think it says a lot for them the way that they have played themselves back into this ballgame.
And I think on a national level, you hear people say, well, Drew Brees is playing very well for the Saints, but until you see it, and you see him do it on the road and do it against this Steeler defense and make the throws that he's made and convert on big third downs, now you know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and he's just he's a guy who just understands the position, and too many times, I think, not only his NFL career, but over his career in general, people have just wanted to look at his measurables, arm strength, and it's somewhat unfair.
Another short kickoff and another good starting field position spot for the Steelers at their own 35. Davenport with a 17-yard return. Beginning in January, Fox will be the new home to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, the FedEx Orange Bowl, the Allstate Sugar Bowl, as well as the new Tostitos BCS National Championship game. College football's biggest games are coming to Fox Sports beginning in January 2007.
Yeah, I think this is a big drive now for Pittsburgh offensively to answer this before the half ends.
Each side has all three of their timeouts remaining. And Roethlisberger starts it with a throw and a completion to Washington. Knocked down by McKenzie, a gain of 6.
You know, and again, this is a drive that begins with the Steelers having good field position.
They have not done anything with that good field position their last 2 possessions.
Warning.
2-minute warning. Second down for the Steelers at their own 41. And Reggie Bush and the Saints heating up here in Pittsburgh, now leading by 3. Deuce McAllister, I don't know if he's 4 feet away from that heater over on the sideline. It is chilly here on the 12th of November in Pittsburgh. Shea Townsend, a left ankle injury. His return is very questionable, and it is getting thin in that secondary for the Steelers. We're down by 3. Blitz coming from the Saints, and Roethlisberger has it batted down at the line of scrimmage. Third down coming up. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up to the second stats. Third down and 4 now for Roethlisberger.
Overall, both teams have been efficient on third downs. Now, if the Steelers fail to pick up the third down conversion here, they give the ball back to the Saints with a lot of time, and with the Saints still having 3 timeouts.
Roethlisberger steps up and hits Santonio Holmes in the open field. Santonio Holmes is out of bounds near the 15.
Looked like they ran a pick play. Take a look. Jason Kraft, 21 for the Saints. They run each other into him. And he picks off Mike McKenzie, and that's why Santonio Holmes was as open as what he was. Man-to-man coverage. That's the one thing you got to worry about as a defensive back, trying to run that natural crossing action to pick off the defender.
Now on first down, Roethlisberger to the end zone, incomplete. Too high for an open Nate Washington, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and that's a ball that I'm sure Ben Roethlisberger would like to have back. It looked like it was a little bit high, not a catch that, you know, Nate Washington certainly could have made the catch, but a ball that's thrown high and just slightly behind. You know, he has made a lot of those types of plays for, however. Ben Roethlisberger was talking about Nate Washington, saying he likes the ball high. He's got great leaping ability, but he was not able to hang on to that one.
A little inside flip to Hines Ward, and it was Grant there to make the tackle immediately. A loss of 1, and that brings up third down.
They run that shovel pass, and Charles Grant right there, he didn't get fooled at all. He was sitting there waiting on it. In fact, if he had been a little bit quicker, he might have even been able to get the toss. You're going to see him 94. He immediately sees the running back coming at him, and Faneca just whiffs on him. That was the guy Faneca was supposed to block and kick out, and then run the shovel in behind him.
Minute 27 left, and it's New Orleans taking their first timeout.
But a big play there to Santonio Holmes on third down, which then at least gets them down in here where they have an opportunity to come away with some points.
Since Bill Cowher has been at the controls of the Steelers starting in 1992, they've gone 89-1 when they've led by at least 14 points. They jumped out to an early 14-0 lead today. They trailed by 3. And they're inside field goal range now, clearly, but hoping for something bigger on third down and 11. Roethlisberger throws off his back foot out of the reach of Holmes. Had pressure on him on a blitz. Will Smith was there, and he had help. Hines Ward was open for a moment, but Roethlisberger could not get it to him.
Yeah, and that's because you're going to see the all-out blitz here by the Saints. Pressure's coming, and you got to get the ball out if you're the quarterback. You know, Ward, yeah, he was open, and if he gets the ball in his hands, maybe he makes Kraft miss, but Roethlisberger was working the other way.
So now a 32-yard field goal try by Jeff Reed with 1:23 left in the half. This game is tied. 17-17. Talked about some of the history of Bill Cowher. And right now we look at the Saints and how their coaching changes have piled up since 1969. Sean Payton is the 14th head coach from 69 until now, while the Steelers since 1969 have had Chuck Noll. And then from 1992 until now, who knows how long beyond 2006, Bill Cowher.
Yeah, I think that's somewhat surprising, you know, and Bill Cowher hasn't talked much about it, but the fact that he hasn't been locked up to a long-term deal, no one really knows exactly why. Is that a decision that Bill Cowher has made? Is that a decision that Dan Rooney and the Steeler organization has made? You know, no one knows, but I think at some level that, along with some other things, have had an influence on this football team. I'm not saying the only thing, but I think when you consider that, the accident by Ben Roethlisberger in July, the appendectomy, there's a number of things that I think collectively have impacted the way that this team has played through the first half of this year.
And it has no doubt been a struggle since they won Super Bowl 40 in Detroit over the Seattle Seahawks. Talking to Ken Whisenhunt, he said, you know, I think there is something to Ben trying to do a little too much. He completed only 9 passes during that Super Bowl, trying to prove he's worthy of being the Super Bowl quarterback, and he's pressed it sometimes, and a reason why he has thrown the league-leading 14 interceptions coming into today's game. Saints will have time. They have 2 timeouts left, and it's Michael Lewis on the return. Kickoff coverage has been poor on each side, and Lewis is out across the 28, 27-yard return. Here's the comeback today for the Saints. First touchdown throw from Breeze to Copper. Then over the middle, it was Colston setting up this little double reverse to Reggie Bush up over the top for the touchdown. And after this most recent 32-yarder by Reed, we're tied at 17.
Reggie was not going to be denied the touchdown there, was he?
Not when he was sniffing it, and he was that close.
You could tell. I mean, once he got to about the 4-yard line, he was going to get it in one way or another.
Remember, Polamalu is on the bench for the Steelers as Breeze goes back to work. Throws on the run and hits Stecker out to midfield. Aaron Stecker out of the backfield has it up to the 50, a 22-yard completion. So now without Deshae Townsend and Troy Polamalu in the defensive backfield, Breeze should have some open receivers. Over the middle, the catch is made by Colston. He picks up 11 and a first down.
Tell you, that's a pretty good example right there of the hands that Marcus Colston has. Ball away from him, yet he catches it in his fingertips.
Clock still running, and the pass caught by Bush. He's out of bounds to stop the clock. And now with 29 seconds left and 2 timeouts on the scoreboard, the Saints are in great position here at the end of this first half in Pittsburgh.
I just think it's another example of being a complete quarterback, as I think Drew Brees is. You get into the no-huddle situation and knowing what the situation is as far as getting the ball down the field, you got to pick up some chunks, and then knowing when to get it to your outside receiver so you can get out of bounds and preserve some time on the clock.
2nd and 4. Breeze pumps, fires. Colston. The defender fell down, and Colston is out of bounds. Out of bounds before getting into the end zone, but it sets up 1st and goal from the 4.
Looked like Anthony Madison was the corner, and then Colston just runs a little bit of a double move, not much. Got the corner who's watching him the entire way, but the ball's up high. I mean, Marcus Colston is a big guy, and Madison just loses his footing.
Pittsburgh.
Now Pittsburgh will take a timeout. 23 seconds left. 1st and goal from the 4 as the Saints have come right back down the field.
Can FBI crisis negotiators stop the king of shock radio?
It is an FM Jerry Springer freak show.
From driving a fan to murder?
Take him off the air.
Don't you hang up. I'll shoot this girl.
Standoff. All new Followed by House. Fox Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
You read my mind 2 catches ago by Marcus Colston. He has shown already in this game, not only does he have the big body and can he run and is good in the open field, but he catches the ball away from his body and shows great hands every grab.
And that was the thing that impressed this staff the most when they were in training camp. I mean, he's 6'4", he can run, he runs good routes for a guy that size. That's usually not the case. And then you go back to the Pittsburgh Steelers and some of the problems that they've had in the defensive secondary coming into this game, and now playing without Deshae Townsend along with Troy Polamalu. And a ball that's gone up high that Colston was able to get. That's another area that this team has struggled in recent weeks down here around the goal line.
Deuce McAllister gets it and into the end zone. What a half this has been, and for the Saints, Troy, it's been big plays, it's been third down conversions, and now they add to the list a 2-minute offense that was so impressive in driving it right through the Steelers.
Absolutely demoralizing for a defensive group, this Pittsburgh Steelers, for their offense to go down and get the field goal and then give up the touchdown before the half. Now, that's not the type of Steeler football we're used to seeing.
Again, playing without Polamalu, playing without Deshae Townsend. That being said, the New Orleans Saints have made a first-half statement here in Pittsburgh as they now lead by 7. Sean Payton brought his team here ready to play, and after getting that right cross across the chin here early in a 14-0 Steeler lead, for the most part, it's been New Orleans ever since.
Well, you can just see the confidence of this Saints offense, and they were confident coming into the game. But then the way that they've played here in this first half, you can just see the maturation of a guy like Marcus Colston. Each week he continually gets better. You know, Sean Payton has made these players accountable. He's brought energy, as we saw there, to this organization. But I don't know that you can say enough about the job that he's done for this franchise.
He may need a trainer to put his shoulder back into the socket after getting that from Charles Grant, who looks like he's wearing an Oxford under his shoulder pads today. Not Peyton, but Grant. What is that? It's like an Izod? What is it?
I don't know. He'll be whipping out a tie here in the second half.
24-17, the Saints with a 7-point lead, their biggest of the day. McAllister bangs it in. His 6th rushing touchdown, and it was a lot of Marcus Colston, who came in with the most yards from scrimmage among any and all NFL rookies, including that guy, his teammate Reggie Bush, who also got his first touchdown from scrimmage in this first half. Carney has not kicked it deep so far today, and it's Morey on the return from inside the 5. And Sean Morey is out as the ball pops loose. And the scramble for the football, the Steelers back on top of it. That could have been crushing to the Steelers, who again put the ball on the ground, but they're able to recover. Tyrone Carter on top of the fumble by Sean Morey.
Yeah, they've seen enough of that this year as far as punt return fumbles, kickoff return fumbles. It's amazing how many times they've laid the ball on the ground this year.
Here's the latest by Morey. And the Steelers fortunate to get back on top of it. 11 seconds left in the half. See how creative the Steelers want to get. They have 2 timeouts, but not much time on the clock. Roethlisberger in trouble, chased by Grant, throws on the run, completes it to Ward. Big hit. And the Steelers will spend a timeout with 1 second left. They'll have one more play as a 25-yard completion to Hines Ward gives them a hope here at the end of the half.
You know, and this is really what Bill Cowher has wanted from Ben Roethlisberger. Now, he had to get outside the pocket here because of the pressure. But when he gets out and is able to buy himself some time, these receivers, this time Hines Ward, does a good job of finding the space for Roethlisberger to get the ball into his hands. You know, now with the 1 second on the clock, I mean, all they can really do from here is just take a shot and try to get it into the end zone, and hopefully one of their guys can come down with the ball.
Just in case you're wondering, it would be a 63-yard field goal try from here on a cold day in Pittsburgh. And so instead of trying what is an impossible field goal, they'll take a shot at the Hail Mary or hope for a defensive penalty. The Visa halftime is coming up. 10 games so far have been decided by 8 points or less here in Week 10 across the NFL. Pressure on Roethlisberger, buying time. And now the heave. All the way into the end zone, and the incompletion as McKenzie almost came away with a pick. What a start for the Steelers to the first half, and what a finish for the Saints to the first half. Here is that final play off the hands of Washington and nearly into the arms of McKenzie. A 7-point
Hands of is Marcus Colston, and they've been able to do it with a lot of regularity.
Saints will start this half with the football, and from the 10-yard line, it's Michael Lewis. Shows off that good speed, and Lewis is hit hard, but a good return of 23 yards. And Ryan Clark on the stop. And as we get ready for the start of this second half, offensively for the Saints, let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Joe. Bill Cowher stressing the positive throughout the Steelers skid, and he's doing the same thing with this team trailing at halftime. He said we need positive starts to both series, offensively and defensively. Offensively, we're going to pick up the tempo. Defensively, they're going to be shorthanded because safety Troy Polamalu will not return. He has a mild concussion. Corner Deshae Townsend add a mild concussion to his list of injuries. Remember that left ankle when he left before the half. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Pam. So it is thin in that secondary, and Drew Brees has taken advantage of it. Over the middle, that's tipped off the hands of Casey Hampton. And then down to the grass. That was an opportunity as Hampton got his hands on it. Terrence Copper, the intended receiver.
That's right. Yeah, Casey Hampton, it looked like, was the guy who was there to maybe make a play. Now, his job description is not catching footballs, but you know, he could have caught that one, and then they could have caught the one earlier in the first quarter that would have made a difference for him as well.
Yeah, that one was dropped by Larry Foote. This one clanked off the hands of Casey Hampton, 2nd and 10. And a throw to Reggie Bush. Had Copper blocking for him, and Bush gets it to the 40, gain 6. Ryan Clark on the stop for the Steelers, 3rd down.
That's one of the plays that the Saints really like to run, and that's one of the reasons why Reggie Bush has caught as many passes as what he has. He comes into this game as the leading receiver for the New Orleans Saints, and they throw that wide receiver screen to him and just see if they can get it to his hands in space and make a few people miss.
3rd down and 4 now. Saints 6 out of 8 on 3rd down, 7 out of 9. One of the better runs we've seen from Reggie Bush as he gets it into Steeler territory.
Well, Reggie Bush hasn't had a lot of opportunities to make these types of runs this year, but he's got good vision. As you can see, the cutback. I know Sean Payton, in talking with him, he fully expects Reggie Bush's production to go up here over the second half of the season.
Anthony Madison over pursued as Bush cut back behind him, and Madison thinking, I saw that when he was at USC. Brees fires and completes. A 10-yard completion is Terrence Copper, who has a touchdown in today's game, makes the grab and has, I'll say 10 yards, and it is enough for a first down.
Well, and Terrence Copper, he's another one of those guys. There's a lot of them on this Saints team that was brought in, right before the season began. Terrence Copper, of course, had the relationship with Sean Payton with the Dallas Cowboys, and because of the injury to Joe Horn, he has played a pretty good role the last 2 weeks.
On first down, the pass is dropped. Reggie Bush trying to make a move before he caught the pass. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And we welcome in a special guest.
Oh, we back up here.
Yeah, we back up. That's the way we do it.
Been a while since I've been.
No, we're coming up
we
front.
come back up. Okay, let's get back up here.
Troy and I are happy to have Terry Bradshaw in the booth.
Thank you.
With
it's
us.
good to be here.
I think it's fitting to have you here, obviously because of your history here with Pittsburgh, but you spent some time this week with Drew Brees, and he is not disappointed today.
No, not at all. You know, it's amazing. He's just so poised, sees the blitz, as you just saw while ago. Troy made a nice adjustment out the blitz. He dropped it. A lot of poise, and that's really what you look for in your quarterback, a guy that'll stand in there and make good decisions.
Penalty flag comes in at the end of that play. The catch by Reggie Bush, who took it to the 35, maybe inches inside. And we'll check the marker. Bill Carollo has been busy. Well, you show up in the booth and all we do is dance.
No.
Now we're going to be back in our normal spot after Bill Carollo figures out who it's against. It's against, it looks like, New Orleans.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 73. 15-yard penalty. The play will count. 3rd down.
They get the rookie Jari Evans, and there he is coming in late, and that 15-yard penalty not only cost the Saints, but they yanked Evans right out of the game. So Evans is on the sideline after committing that foul, and now the ball is back at the Steeler 49. Saints have to get it to the Steeler 29 for a 1st down. Brees over the middle, throws, and it was tipped. Porter got his hands on it before Colston got his hands on it, could not pull it in. It's 4th down.
You know, that was one, Terry, that Drew Brees got away with. He's gotten away with a few tonight that could have been intercepted, but you know, when you watch him, I mean, I know I have a great appreciation for the way he plays the game. I think a lot of times we spend too much time talking about arm strength and mobility rather than can the guy play.
Yeah, the key is recognize man, recognize zone, know where the holes are. Right then, Troy, another foot this side or even early the other side, he'd pick up the 1st down.
First punt of the day for Weatherford, and it is Santonio Holmes who hauls it in without incident. We'll keep Terry. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Steelers will start with it at their own 9 as they trail. You get to bring your own footballs to the game, and we continue here with Terry Bradshaw. Now we talk about the other side for a moment, Ben Roethlisberger, as the Steelers have it starting at their own 9-yard line, down by 7. It's Parker, and he goes nowhere. I know any time that you, Terry, talk about any quarterback with the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the success you had, people pay attention. I know Roethlisberger's paid attention when you've had things to say about his play and what he's done with a motorcycle and the accident and everything that's happened since. What do you see him doing or not doing right now that the interceptions are up and this team's not playing?
Well, that's just a panic situation. All the stuff that he's been through, Joe, and actually he's putting up great numbers, throwing the football better than ever, but when they're getting into situations, you almost sense there's a panic, like we've got to score quickly, we've got to get on top.
He throws over the middle, and it's dropped by Washington.
Yeah, that was a nice throw, but it would have been a great catch. That's the only thing. You start forcing things, you come off a Super Bowl, and Troy, you know this, people play you a lot differently than when you're just, if you're not a defending champion. And they're sensing that, and you take the motorcycle and then the appendix and all of that, appendectomy and all of those situations he's been under. I think he's played well, but there is a sense now that panic has set in.
Well, and I think when you look at the Steelers, and whether it's coming off the Super Bowl win or the injury and stuff to Ben Roethlisberger, but really, I mean, even the situation with Bill Cowher, there's a lot of things that maybe you could point to as to why this team has maybe had some of the struggles they've had.
Will Smith a bit banged up on that last play. He seems okay. We'll take a break and come right back. 3rd down and 10 for the Steelers. Fake handoff, and Roethlisberger over the middle this time. Washington hangs on. 1st down. Ball at the Steeler 31, and that's a big third down conversion for Pittsburgh, down by 7.
Well, it sure is, because if they don't convert here, they're giving the ball back to the Saints with great field position. But Roethlisberger steps up in the pocket. Nate Washington running the square in over the middle of the field. And a good third down conversion by the Steelers.
Willie Parker gets it. Willie Parker has a first down, and that has got Terry Bradshaw nodding his head. That's what you expect to see more of.
I think everyone in the stadium, if you're a Steeler fan and have been for years, you know one thing, and Troy knows this as well as anyone with Jimmy Johnson. You run the football when you have a great defense. You run the football, you move the chains, and without Bettis being here on 3rd and short and everything, you don't get as many opportunities, but you run the football. That sets up play action, gives your quarterback more time to throw.
Best run of the day for Willie Parker on first down. Play action. Roethlisberger over the middle. That's Miller, the tight end. And Heath is flipped inside the 35.
You know, Heath Miller is a guy who's not gotten a lot of opportunities within this offense. It's not a system where they throw it to the tight end all that much, but he works in behind the linebacker level and gets lost. And Ben Roethlisberger able to find him. Josh Bullocks does a good job there in the secondary for the Saints, at least coming up and being able to get him to the ground. Terry, I think you're a good luck charm for these Steelers.
You think so? Well, they're playing. When I've gone up here now, they've only blitzed one time, and now they're hitting them on zones.
Now they run it on first down, and Parker with a nice carry to the 30-yard line, picked up 4.5.
Which kind of leads me, you talked a little bit about it on the pregame show today, and that is, I know you said if you could change something, it would be take the helmet,
and the microphone's out.
Speaker out of the helmet, let the quarterback call their own plays. I know you did that when you played, but do you think that the quarterbacks are capable with all the specialization?
Oh, absolutely.
To pull that off
it's a 12-month job, and I honestly believe you can learn all these plays, you can learn all these situations. Troy, believe me, the hours that they put in alone, they're more than qualified to call their own game, especially if people are going to sit up here and say, well, that guy is the best that ever played the game.
2nd down and 6, a screen for Parker. Willie Parker down inside the 20 with another Steeler first down.
Zone again.
Sounded like you had somebody in mind when you said that.
No, absolutely. No, you know, I only had one choice, Troy. There's a lot of things I'd like to see, but as an old-timer in this game, you do get a little bit tired of hearing about this and hearing about that. You know what? You want to do that, take the game and put it in their hands and let them call the game on the field.
Well, Willie Parker certainly showing what he's capable of doing for this team here on this possession.
8th play of the drive, first down from the 17. Another screen for Parker. Hollis Thomas can't bring him down, and Parker is back to the line of scrimmage. We had a nice time, Troy, before this game started, as Hollis Thomas is slow to get up. With Terry Bradshaw back here in Pittsburgh, what is it like for you to come back here to the Steel City?
You know, I don't live here, and I was gone for so many years, and I came back here for a Monday night game with my girls. And went out on that field. And Troy, that was the coolest thing. You went in the Ring of Honor. You know what that's like. And to know that at least this many people in the world really do like you. It makes you feel really good, man. It's wonderful. And the fans are great. And, you know, you hoot and holler with them, mess with them. And they're even hollering, you know, we want you back. And I know better than that. But it's been wonderful. I'm going to see Mr. Rooney in a minute and hang out with him for a while. So, yeah, it's whole home week.
Did you hit any of your old spots when you came back in town?
Troy, I was too busy studying. No, I'm sure I had no old spots. No spots at all. None, zero.
Wow.
I know, and I'm boring. I'm boring. I know. I really can when I have to. I got to do the Sugar Bowl with Howie, who's hiding behind the drapes over here. So this is good experiance for me. Howie's never done
How about
this.
Jimmy? Was he hitting any spots?
Why don't you ask Jimmy?
All right, back to the action as Hollis Thomas is good enough to get off the field under his own power. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Steelers. With just over 8 to go in the 3rd quarter, Pittsburgh down by 7. There's contact and no flag. Stoutmire was back there with Miller, and Heath Miller was tripped up, but there is no penalty flag. It's 3rd and 10.
Well, they try to come back to the corner to Heath Miller. And they have a shot. There obviously was contact right there with Omar Stoutmire. Look how he just tripped up. The guy where I thought Roethlisberger might have gone, they went stack formation to the strong side, and there you see Hines Ward in the middle, who might have had a shot to get the reception.
You can see Roethlisberger calling for a flag. They don't get it. It's 3rd and 10. The pass is short as Washington didn't turn around.
I saw that.
Got Terry up here.
Got a little excited. Sorry,
Going
fellas.
on as Roethlisberger, Troy, was under pressure, and that's a couple times now where he's had a guy, but he's not had enough time to set up and throw to him.
Boy, they had a guy, you're right. Nate Washington running out to the flat, wide open, and that's what got Terry's attention.
Well, he didn't turn his head around. The minute you clear that and see that guy blitzing, Troy, you have to turn your head around.
35-yard try here for Jeff Reed to make it a 4-point game. It is pulled. So Reed is no good. Terry Bradshaw was and is. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you again.
I'll
see you later
on the OT.
Okay, Troy,
Thank
a pleasure.
TV.
Great job. Keep it up.
You.
See you guys.
Terry after the game on the OT. It's still a 7-point. Ball is at the 25-yard line as the Saints have it. 7:42 left in the 3rd quarter. New Orleans up 7. To the air. Breeze fires and throws out of the reach of Terrence Copper, and we go back to the 3rd down play and the incompletion for Pittsburgh.
And you can see Nate Washington here. He goes into the flat, and Roethlisberger gets the ball out. Had Washington have been ready for the ball to be thrown in his direction, and if they make that reception, Washington probably scores. There was nobody out there. They brought safety blitz. Roethlisberger needed to get the ball out. The problem was Washington did not see what Roethlisberger saw.
According to Ben, he said Nate is basically a rookie. Still learning this game as Colston makes the catch, turns upfield, has a 1st down for the Saints. Gain of 13. Let's go to Chris for a game break.
All right, Joe. Thanks, Troy. This one's for you. Tony Romo to Terrell Owens. His 7th TD catch, tied for the league lead. And look at this. Doesn't fall asleep during it. He doesn't celebrate using the ball as a pillow. He looks pretty normal as the Cowboys are up 20-3. Joe, Troy, hey, I'm back to you.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
All's good in Dallas again.
4 catches, 75 yards. Okay. It's like tracking the stock market. What's everybody's mood week to week? Reggie Bush. Ball comes out. That's a fumble. Pittsburgh takes over. Recovered by Clark. Reggie Bush put it on the ground, and his opposite number on the Steelers, Ryan Clark, comes away with a fumble recovery.
Well, and this one is costly. Tyrone Carter, who's playing because Polamalu's out, goes low and is able to get the ball out of Reggie Bush's hands. You know, after the defense does such a good job on the stop on the previous possession, now they've got to come right back out on the field.
I'll tell you this, Sean Payton has thrown the challenge flag, and if the Saints had a better look at that, I wonder if he'd like to pick up that flag, because it looked clear on that replay that the ball was coming out of the arms of Reggie Bush on the hit well before he came down.
Is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a fumble. We'll review the play.
So it is a New Orleans challenge. We'll take a break, come back, and get the call. Sean Payton not happy, has to throw the challenge flag as he glares at Bush coming back to the sideline. Here's the call from Bill Carollo.
After reviewing the play stands as called. Fumble, timeout, New Orleans. 1st and 10, Pittsburgh.
So Reggie Bush got the look and an earful from Sean Payton on his way back to the sideline after this fumble. Gives the Steelers the ball inside the Saints 40.
Well, the ball definitely comes out before he goes to the ground. And then you decide to make the challenge. Just take a look at Sean Payton. Yeah, he was not happy about him putting the ball on the ground, but you challenge the call. And then you lose a timeout, and in a game like this, I mean, these timeouts, they become extremely important there in the fourth quarter.
So Bush has the touchdown run. Now he has a fumble. Gives the Steelers some life. 2 fumble recoveries today for this Pittsburgh defense after having 1 throughout the first 8 games.
I think now it's just a matter of Pittsburgh being able to capitalize on the opportunity.
Roethlisberger pumps it, flips it. Wilson wide open. Touchdown. Cedric Wilson signed away from the 49ers prior to last season. That is his first regular season touchdown catch with the Steelers. He had 2 in the postseason last year, and he gets his first here with the extra point coming. A fumble by Reggie Bush 1 play later. It's a tie game.
You know, Joe, so many times when you get a turnover and you get the ball at midfield, this is what an offense wants to do. Try to take a shot. There's the pump fake that kind of opens things up for Cedric Wilson. Runs it in and up. And then Jason Kraft just lets him go. Ball was in the air. It was just a matter of then, was Cedric Wilson going to be able to get under it and make the catch? That was not an easy catch for him to make. Ben Roethlisberger lays it up, but you see there with the pump fake, all of a sudden Kraft comes off of Wilson, and there was no safety help to try to get back there and defense the play.
Jason Kraft is making the start today in place of the injured Fred Thomas, who is out with a hamstring injury, and Cedric Wilson went right around him. And then, as you said, Troy, it's like, I would imagine trying to make a free throw with nobody standing along the lane in basketball. It's just everybody's waiting for that thing to drop out of the sky. You're the only one there. And he held on for that catch over the shoulder to tie this game.
Yeah, not an easy catch. A lot like trying to field a punt over your shoulder, and yet he was able to make the play.
Turnovers the key for the Steelers and why they put together this 2-6 record. They have 14 points off Saints turnovers here today. A fumble by Miller in the first quarter, and this last one by Reggie Bush. A knuckler on a bounce. It is returned by Jamal Jones. And Jones is drilled by Mike Logan. Tuesday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, watch the Emmy Award-winning Smash Hit House. All new at its new time. Tuesday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here only on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. A comparison of Brees and Roethlisberger. Numbers comparable. Big Ben has 3 touchdown throws today. Hand off to McAllister. Deuce picks up 3. Let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Yeah, Joe, if Sean Payton gave Bush the evil eye after that fumble, it could be because of something he told me he was going to stress to the team as they went in at halftime, and that is no turnovers. Payton has stressed it all week that the Steelers are a dangerous team despite being 2-6. They got to respect the defending champs, and the Saints can only hope they can overcome that mistake.
2nd down and 7. Bush is lined up wide to the bottom of your screen. Blitz. Brees gets away from the pressure. Throws behind, and a nice catch by Reggie Bush. Good catch by Bush. The throw not that great, but a lot of pressure on Drew Brees.
We got Larry Foote, who's coming off the corner here, and he just overplays it. He thinks Brees is going to throw the ball. He leaves his feet. Brees avoids him, and then is able to get the ball in the hands there of Reggie Bush. And that's a good catch. Ball was behind him. What looked like it was going to be a bad play ended up being a positive play for the Saints.
And a first down. Breeze, a pump fake, and wide open with a catch is Terrence Copper. Down inside the 25 to the 21-yard line. 32-yard completion to Terrence Copper as the Saints try to answer right back.
Well, it's very well-designed play there by the Saints. They run Colston on a curl and then get Copper around the sideline in behind it.
On first down is Bush. And how many times, Troy, have we watched Breeze pump fake, hold on to it, and then find a wide-open receiver?
Well, we've seen it a few times. We missed Colston on the curl, but then you've got Copper, who's just out running Ryan Clark. I mean, you've got a wide receiver on a safety. It looked like Clark is not running at full speed. I don't know if he's got something wrong with him, but the matchup obviously favored the Saints, and they were able to take advantage of it.
Copper's had a big day, starting in place of the injured Joe Horn. That one batted away by Kiesel, who has a sack also today. It's 3rd and 7.
Well, 3rd down again is an area that the Saints have been very effective on here today, converting 70% of those opportunities. Obviously, right now, they're in field goal range and hoping to be able to get more.
3rd down and 7. Breeze going to take off. Lost the football. And in the pileup, it looks like the Saints are back on top of it. They are. And by falling on that fumble by Drew Brees, it gives the Saints an opportunity to kick the field goal and regain the lead.
Well, they're fortunate to get that one back. Drew Brees had some open field. Higgins comes in there behind him and is the one who strips Drew Brees. Initially, it looked like the Steelers were in a great position to be able to recover the fumble there.
That's Kiesel.
Yeah, Kiesel
haul it in.
Just wasn't able to get on it.
Might have been Fain, the center, who ended up with the football. And it's a 32-yard try for Carney. High snap, kick, no good. That started with a snap by Kevin Hauser, the long snapper. Martin got it down. Carney pulled it wide to the left. Payton is still ticked off, and this game is still tied.
Big Machine Records presents Sound.
Deuce McAllister trying to keep that offense together after a missed opportunity, which followed the fumble. The missed field goal try, a 32-yard attempt by Carney, and it's still 24-24. Now the Steelers have it, and Roethlisberger's going down. In the arms of Antoine Lake, he gets his first of the year.
Hey, you know, Roethlisberger had time there to get the ball out. Antoine Lake, right there, he just keeps going. Keeps fighting, and then is finally able to get there and make a play on Ben Roethlisberger. But Ben was holding on to the ball just because he could not find anybody down the field to get the ball to.
It's a 9-yard loss on that sack by Lake, 2nd and 19. Hollis Thomas is out of there. That's why Lake is in the lineup. Handoff is to Willie Parker. They call him Fast Willie Parker. Down the sideline. Tripped up by Fast Mike McKenzie. McKenzie saved a touchdown, but the Steelers are in business at the New Orleans 15-yard line. 72 yards from Willie Parker.
Well, Willie Parker, I mean, you're going to see the hole that opens up right there in a good block. And then he's off to the races, and Mike McKenzie, he just kept coming. He was clear on the other side of the field. He had the angle, but the fact that he kept running after Parker was just barely able to get him. If Parker's just able to get his leg up just a little bit, he scores.
72-yard run, and now Najee Davenport gets it in his hands. And Davenport is brought down after a gain of 1.
Well, Willie Parker, I mean, he knows how close he was. A good block by Dan Kreider is what sprung him. But give credit to Mike McKenzie and the hustle that he showed getting over there to make a play.
Yeah, he didn't quit on it, and he saved a touchdown. With a minute and a half to go in the third quarter, it's 2nd down and 9. With a ball at the 13-yard line. Parker back in there. Parker again gets to the edge, fights for extra yards, and he is brought down with a 1st down for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's just a good run there by Willie Parker, and I talked about it a little bit earlier about his speed and how he's able to get on the corners, but he does a good job as well of breaking tackles and then running with power. There's contact made there initially with Omar Stoutmire, the safety, and yet before Parker hits the ground, he's picked up another 4 or 5 yards.
First and goal. How about Parker again? Down near the 2.
He almost bounced that one out after contact off to his right side. Had he been able to keep his feet, he might have been able to score.
And if the Steelers want to let the clock wind down, and they will, that'll do it for the third quarter. Along with our producer, Richie Zients, our director, Artie Kempner, Pam Oliver, Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, a good one here in Pittsburgh. Tied at 24. Fourth quarter coming up. The NFL on Fox will continue after a word from... Steelers now taking it to New Orleans in the second half. They've tied it at 24. And now it's 2nd and goal from the 3 for Pittsburgh after that long run from Willie Parker. Reggie Bush with a turnover in this second half, and Drew Brees wondering how big the deficit will be when he goes back to work.
They've had success down here in the red zone with play action. Some of that's come on 3rd down. I expect them to go with some play action here on 2nd down.
Hand off to Parker. Bouncing it, Willie Parker. What a drive for the running back for the Steelers. Touchdown. Willie Parker with a 72-yard run on that drive, and he caps it with a 3-yard touchdown run, and there wasn't much there when he got the ball from Roethlisberger. But Parker was not going to be denied the end zone. Now it's the Steelers up by 7.
Well, you're right, Joe. I mean, Willie Parker's the one who got him down here. Why not give him the ball here on 2nd and goal? And it's clogged up in the middle, but he's able to bounce it to the outside again. Breaking the tackle there on Mike McKenzie to get into the end zone. And then you got Hines Ward, 86 there. I mean, he does such a great job of blocking in the running game. And he does another good job on that play. This game has been... really so many momentum shifts have taken place throughout this game with missed field goals and then the turnovers, of course, hurting the New Orleans Saints. This game's still a long way from being over.
By far the key play in that drive was when Willie Parker got a chance to show his speed. So did Mike McKenzie. But this, the key play, 72 yards to set it up. McKenzie kept him out of the end zone once. Couldn't keep him out of the end zone on that 2nd and goal run as Parker broke through his tackle and got in. 31-24 Pittsburgh.
And you can see how tired that defensive front, that was Hollis Thomas trying to get his breath. It'll be important here on this possession for the New Orleans Saints. If not able to go down the field and score, at least be able to control the ball a little bit and allow this defense to rest. They're tired.
Michael Lewis waiting for the kick from Reed. Lewis and Jones collide. It's Jones on the return, and he's dragged down across the 25 up to the 28. Anthony Smith on the tackle. Ready to see a glimpse of next year's biggest movie? Tonight on Fox, don't miss the world premiere of The Simpsons movie trailer during an all-new episode of The Simpsons. It all starts tonight, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, only on Fox. That's what's happened in this second half. A missed field goal, a fumble, and a punt for the Saints. Breeze to the fullback, Carney. Carney into the arms of Foot and a gain of 4.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, Joe, with the 2 turnovers, and then the Steelers were able to translate those into touchdowns for 14 points, and then the missed field goal. I mean, that's a 17-point swing.
They're the offensive leaders. It's been a good day for Breeze. Another good day for Colston. McAllister. A little over 4 yards a carry and a touchdown. 2nd and 6. Breeze. Bush out of the backfield. What a good throw. Breeze hit Reggie Bush in stride, and that let Bush carry it on for a 7-yard gain and a first down.
Well, he put the ball right where it needed to be, and he did it under pretty good pressure in the pocket. You can see he kind of had to unload it there, even if he wanted to get the ball down the field. Aaron Smith there to make the hit. But he gets the ball, as you said, Joe, out in front of him to where Bush was able to get it and run and get some yards.
First down, New Orleans. Handoff, Reggie Bush, nothing. Aaron Smith, Joey Porter in on the stop. So here are the Steelers, Troy, hoping for what would be the unlikely, which is being a 2-6 team, get on a hot streak and make it to the postseason. Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator. No 2-6 team has made it to the postseason. And here's Pittsburgh trying to start that run against the New Orleans Saints. McAllister gets it, picks up 2, that's all. 3rd and long coming up. Chris Rose is coming up with a game break.
Well, Joe, we all know Reggie Bush is a lot of fun to watch when returning punts. So too is Nate Burleson. Thought he might fair catch that one. Instead, he is gone 90 yards as he screams it down the sideline. Seahawks lead the Rams 21-16. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
And if the Seahawks can get a win and go to 6-3 as they're about to get healthy with Hasselbeck and Sean Alexander coming back, they run away from the Rams and hide in the NFC West. 3rd down. Breeze steps up over the middle, completes his rookie Colston with another big catch to the Pittsburgh 43.
This is really something. Here he is, Colston, and he's going to be contacted as he's trying to get open. Some contact there, but he just keeps playing. You got 2 receivers, Copper and Colston, in the same area. That's never supposed to happen. But it looked like an ad-lib job on Colston's part, and then Breeze just kept looking for him and was able to deliver the ball and pick up the first down.
Addison covering him. Deshae Townsend out with an ankle injury, a mild concussion. Polamalu is out. And on first down, Breeze drops it off to Carney. Carney is down to the 39-yard line. Picked up 4. Ferrier on the stop. Just to go back to Colston. Talk about the hands. 6'4", 231 pounds. He is a big-bodied, fast, receiver with great hands.
Yeah, and I think Sean Payton and this Saints organization, they deserve all the credit in the world. They recognize this guy's ability after they brought him into training camp, and because they thought he was going to be a major contributor and play well, not this well, that's what led to the trade of Dante Stallworth to the Philadelphia Eagles.
And in the process, they get Mark Semino, their starting middle linebacker, from the Eagles. The pass, incomplete. Copper, the intended receiver. And it's another third down faced by the Saints and Drew Brees. And as you said before this start of this drive, they have moved the ball. They are winning this little mini battle for field position, and the ball inside the 40. Again, you may be in 2-down territory depending on what happens on this third down. They may have to go for it on fourth down.
Well, that's right. And if Drew Brees knows, and I'm not sure he would know right now, but if he knew that if they got close, they'd go for it on fourth, that would change his way of thinking here on third down.
3rd and 7. Underneath, off the body of Colston. The umpire may have been involved, and now with that incompletion and a longer fourth down, the Saints are going to punt.
Yeah, Colston, he's running the drag. The umpire just is in no man's land, doesn't know where to go, and they run into each other. And there's been a lot of discussion in recent years about relocating the umpire and getting him out of the area there, because in this West Coast system that so many teams run, that's where they're running routes.
Weatherford, the rookie, trying to down it inside the 20. It hits inside the 5, and it's pushed into the end zone. Weatherford did all he could, but they did not handle it well. Scott and others downfield for the Saints. Steelers haven't been able to stop Marcus Colston. Garth DeFelice, the umpire, did. A net of 19 yards on the punt. The Steelers have the lead starting at their own 20, and the pass is off the hands of Cedric Wilson, who was getting ready to be smacked after he grabbed it. Back to the punt.
Yeah, you take a look at it, and you're right. Steve Weatherford hit it perfectly. The ball was not hit there. It got a good bounce for the Saints. But it's Brian Scott who comes in and then knocks it into the end zone. As you'll see, the ball hits, and they get the favorable bounce, and then there's Scott that knocks it into the end zone. That won't show up at the end of the game, but big difference between starting the drive on the 20-yard line as opposed to inside the 5.
2nd down and 10. Handoff is to Parker. Willie Parker down the sideline. Another big run. Being chased down by Kraft and tripped at the 5. They'll mark him at the 4, 1st and goal.
Well, we've just seen it a lot. He's going to bounce it out to his right. They get him bottled up, but there's no contain. There's nobody out there to make the play. Mike McKenzie comes in, and then he gets outrun. Josh Bullock trying to make a play, and then ultimately Jason Kraft able to get there. This is a defense that's extremely tired. They're going to get more tired if they're going to have to continually chase down Willie Parker.
The Steelers will take a timeout, probably to let Parker catch his breath. They call him Fast Willie Parker. 2 carries, one of 72 yards, one of 76. He was caught again. But Parker with 204 yards, that's a career high. 148 of them on 2 carries. A 72-yarder followed by a 76-yarder. And it's 1st and goal from the 4 for the Steelers, who lead by 7. Trying to start the resurrection of their season with a win over the Saints. 10 minutes left in the game. Willie Parker again. To the edge, to the end zone. Touchdown.
You know, it's just over and over, Joe. They bottle everything up inside, and no one's been able to contain them from getting to the outside.
Willie Parker came in with 634 yards on the season. He's up to 208 today against the Saints. And it's a 14-point lead for the Steelers. 2-6 out in front of the 6-2 New Orleans Saints. And what a day for Willie Parker. Barry Sanders, October of '97. Parker has punched it in on the last 2 drives to put an exclamation point on the end of those 2 long runs. Here's a pop-up kickoff returned by Carney out across the 35-yard line. The Steelers are saying that Carney called for a fair catch, which you can do on a kickoff. But then they gave Carney forward progress out across the 35-yard line. And that's what Ferrier and his teammates are pleading with Bill Carollo, the referee. Either way, it's a matter of a handful of yards, and the Saints, who were in control of this game, now find themselves down by 14 points. A low snap, and flags and whistles, a false start.
Well, you just think about the momentum change.
False start, 18, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That's Terrence Copper, a wide receiver.
The momentum change that took place after John Carney missed the field goal. The Steelers then get 2 touchdowns. And if the Saints are going to be able to get back into this ball game, they're going to have to be able to score on this possession.
It was Reggie Bush's fumble, followed the next possession by the miss by Carney on a 32-yard try. Breeze buys some time, airing it out for Stecker. Aaron Stecker with a catch inside the 25. Directed by Drew Brees as he bought time, and Stecker is there on the other end.
I tell you what, Joe, this is some really good stuff by Drew Brees. He waved Stecker deep, but then he threw the ball where he wanted Stecker to go. Stecker initially starts to the outside. Drew throws it back to the inside, where only Aaron Stecker could then make the play.
48 yards on the completion to Stecker, and now over the middle around the umpire. It's Colston, another first down to set up first and goal from the 8. The Saints trying to answer the Steelers on their next possession, and in a blink they've taken it down the field and have first and goal.
It's unbelievable how these offenses are creating big plays. Both of them over 400 yards right now. Drew Brees waving Aaron Stecker to go deep. But where he really made the play was by throwing the ball to the inside and forcing Stecker to go get it.
That should be a false start. They throw the flag. It should be a false start. But I don't know if the officials caught it. And then eventually they throw the flag after the snap and Brees went down.
Offside.
Wow.
Defense. Half the distance to the goal. Replay, first down.
The Steelers are upset, and I don't know that the officials saw what happened on the right side of the offensive line for the Saints, and instead of going back 5, they go toward the end zone. Watch right there. It's Campbell, the tight end. But they missed it. That's why Hampton jumped. Now it's first and goal from the 4. 900 yards of offense here, 900 yards of offense with San Diego and Cincinnati. First and goal, Brees back of the end zone, out of the reach of Mark Campbell. And right into Don Corneli, our camera operator, down in the end zone. You want to deal with this?
You're going to have to put him in a helmet. It's dangerous down there. Look out, Don.
Everything's fine until Ryan Clark pays a visit.
Protect the camera, though. That's the first thing you learn as a cameraman.
That thing is not light.
Yeah, sacrifice your body, but don't drop the camera.
2nd and goal. And the snap is snapped back to McAllister for the touchdown. You explain that one.
It looked like it was designed, but yet it was rolling back there. You got McAllister shaking his head, so I don't know how it could have been a design play. But watch the ball come out. But yet Breeze doesn't look like he expected to have the ball in his hands.
But there's no way that's designed to roll back. I mean, that thing could bounce anywhere.
Hey, Jeff Fain, I know he's good, but I don't know that you're that good as a center. I don't know if he thought if it should have been hiked like a shotgun snap.
Kevin Hauser will snap this one, presumably in the air, to Martin Holden. It's a 7-point game. There's still 8 minutes left in this game.
McAllister's still shaking his head about it.
One bounce into the hands of McAllister. He was ready for it. Into the end zone. And it's third. The snap by Jeff Fain, and McAllister's there waiting for it like he's supposed to get it rolled back to him.
I think it was just a bad snap.
They have not officially scored it yet, by the way. A rush or a fumble recovery. As Morey on the return crosses the 25.
You know, if you just watch Drew Brees on the play and see if he expected to have the ball in his hands. You know, it looks like he's looking to try to maybe locate where the ball went, and then if he was able to go get it, he would have. But McAllister alertly sees the ball and grabs it and scores. But I don't think that – I think it was supposed to be in Drew Brees' hands, and somehow it just got in the hands of Deuce McAllister.
I would say maybe the other, in that he's not frantically looking around for the football, but I know that Fain did not snap it if it was a design play the way he was supposed to, because that thing was literally rolled back to Deuce McAllister. And Roethlisberger just throws it away. Fox's football coverage doesn't end when the games are over. Afterward, it's the OT. I'll be joined by Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. We'll bring you exclusive interviews, extended highlights, and reveal the new BCS standings. We'll see how number 4 Texas and number 5 Auburn's losses shake up the standings. It's the OT coming up right after football, only on Fox. 2nd and 10. Handoff is to Parker. Stays on his feet. A lot of effort. Picked up only 2. 3rd and long coming up.
Well, I tell you, the Saints there were expecting the Steelers to run the ball, which they did. They had an 8-man front. And Willie Parker was hit as soon as he got the ball, and he was still able to pick up positive yardage. Not a lot of yardage, but I tell you, this guy has had himself a day.
210 yards. Team record. Frenchie Fuqua with 218. By the way, this is when Jerome Bettis used to take over. Reel off run after run after run. Now it's 3rd down and 8. Roethlisberger has to put it up to try and pick up the first down, and he does pick it up in the arms of Hines Ward. Forced out by DeJuan Gross, a gain of 16 yards.
The offensive line overall has done a good job for Ben Roethlisberger, and they do again here what you need on 3rd and long to let your receivers get down the field, and DeJuan Gross in coverage just doesn't do a real good job there on Hines Ward. And that was one of the concerns for defensive coordinator Gary Gibbs of the Saints, was that they didn't feel they matched up real well on the outside. So if you're going to try to bring pressure and you get one-on-one outside on the corners, if you don't get there, you're going to have a hard time stopping these wide receivers for the Steelers.
85-yard day for Ward. Parker out to the 47, a gain of 2.
You know, with the clock ticking down, and then with the Saints at a 7-point deficit, it's imperative now that the Saints defense finds a way to make a stop. Of course, the Steelers, they go into their mode to where they want to try to take as much time off the clock, and if they can get down there and at least come away with 3 points and make this a 2-possession game, all in the while taking time off the clock, that's what they would prefer to do.
Second down and 8. And off to Parker, and Stoutmire up from the safety spot. Makes the hit and the tackle, a gain of 2. Third down coming up again for Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, that was a good play by Omar Stoutmire coming up, and it's one of the few times that we've seen Parker get stopped on the first contact. Stoutmire, who was brought in, he replaced Roman Harper, who was the rookie who came into the year as the starter. Omar Stoutmire, physical player, and a good job on that last play.
Now third down and 6. And a timeout is taken by the Saints. Only one timeout left now for New Orleans as they trail by 7 here in the fourth quarter. You look at the NFC South. Atlanta lost today at home to Cleveland. They're now 5-4. The Saints, a 6-2 record, and trying to add to what they started the day with, which was a 1-game lead in the South. Carolina 4-4, and they play Tampa Bay tomorrow night.
Well, I think, and that's why when you look at this, for a team like Pittsburgh and even the 4-4 teams in the NFC, that usually you would think that 10 games is what is going to be required to get into the playoffs. In fact, last year there were a couple 10-win teams that didn't even get into the playoffs. But I think this year there's going to be a team or two at 9-7 in both conferences that end up getting in.
We would like to welcome in a new audience. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Pam Oliver in Pittsburgh. Third down and 6 for the Steelers, who lead it by 7. The 2-6 Pittsburgh Steelers, the 6-2 New Orleans Saints. A blitz, a screen for Davenport, and he is tripped up. It was Grant who saved a first down.
That may save the game for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, you look at the play here by Charles Grant. They have the perfect call on with the pressure, and Charles Grant just barely able to make the tackle, because if he doesn't make the tackle, not only do they pick up the first down, but they pick up a lot more yards than that. That was a critical stop for the Saints to have any opportunity of really getting back into this ball game.
Marvell Smith missed on the block. Grant got through and made the tackle, and now the Saints will get it back. They have one timeout remaining, and Gardocki with Reggie Bush waiting for it. It's down to downfield by Anthony Smith. Here is a recap if you're just joining us. We've had over 900 yards of offense. Steelers jumped on top 14-0. The Saints scored on their next 4 possessions. Reggie Bush fumbled early in this second half, and then it started for the Steelers. Their comeback began, and Willie Parker has been the man front and center with a 72-yard run and a 76-yard run, and then 2 touchdowns on the end of those drives. The Saints just went downfield, got a touchdown of their own. Now they get it back, down by 7. Handoff is to McAllister, and Deuce is out to the 26-yard line, a gain of 7.
And these Saints over the previous 2 ball games against Tampa Bay and against Baltimore, they had not run the football very well. They've run the ball much better today. And so even with 4 minutes left in this game, they don't have to abandon the run.
They stay with it. Deuce McAllister is brought down with first down yardage. That's a first down for the Saints with 4 minutes to go.
And the Saints have always run a pretty fast tempo offense. They like to get in and out of the huddle. Now they're even running even a faster pace, trying to get off as many plays as they can with the time that's left. Remember, they only have 1 timeout left.
Remember, Joe Horn is not playing, out with a bad groin. Copper has played well in his absence. Colston, another big day for the Saints. The rookie. Brees with time. And Drew Brees ends up gaining 2 as he's tripped up with under 3.5 to go. Brett Kiesel is there for the tackle for the Steelers.
There's a good job there, though, by Drew Brees, not forcing anything and then just trying to pick up as much as he could.
If you're just joining us, Troy Polamalu left with a concussion early in this game. Deshae Townsend with an ankle injury and a mild concussion. The starting cornerback is out. Breeze steps up and fires. It's caught by Colston. The flag is down. Colston brought down immediately by foot, and a penalty flag is thrown.
Yeah, they're going to call offsides on Pittsburgh, and it looked like that was a pretty easy call, but it was a late flag that came out. If Drew Brees had known that they had the flag, then you're able to take a shot down the field without any repercussions of an interception.
Offside. 53. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Clark Higgins.
Yeah, Clark Higgins is the one that's called, and anytime as a quarterback, when you think you may have gotten the defense offside, you try to check and see if you can see the flag thrown, because if it's on the offense, they'll shut down the play, and then you'll wind up taking a shot. Drew Brees didn't know a flag had been thrown and threw underneath.
Now it's 2nd and 2, and a toss to McAllister. Sticks his nose up in there, and he's going to be about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. It'll be 3rd down with 2:36 and counting left in this game. Or at least as the way this thing has gone, I should say, in regulation. Been a crazy day around the NFL in this week 10 of the 2006 season. 3rd down here for the Saints. Play action. Brees keeps it, flips it for the first down. The tight end Mark Campbell, and that'll take this to the 2-minute warning. A first down with a ball just inside the Saints 44. When we come back, 2 minutes left in Pittsburgh. Look at the yardage piled up in this game. The Saints owned the majority of the first half. The Steelers and Willie Parker the majority of the second half. And now it's New Orleans trying to answer. 2 minutes left. 1 timeout remaining for New Orleans, down 7. They run it. Reggie Bush gets it out to the 49-yard line, a gain of 5.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see him run the ball there. Trying to keep this defense balanced. Now they go to their 5 wide, or actually 4 wide, empty backfield set.
Reggie Bush is split out. Breeze over the middle, has Copper. Terrence Copper dropped it. Had it in his hands and dropped it, incomplete. It's 3rd down.
You know, Terrence Copper's been able to make some plays today. This is one that, boy, you just got to be able to make the catch. A perfect throw. He's got it and just not able to secure the ball.
McFadden came in there and hit the hands of Copper as he tried to secure it. And it's 3rd down with 1:29 left. On 3rd and 5, Breeze flushed. Think about running. It stays on his feet and gets the first down at the 45-yard line. Survived a hit, and he picks up 6 and a first down.
Pretty heady play there by Drew Brees. He's got opening out to his left and is able to get enough to get the first down. Had to break some tackles to do it. And now trying to get the troops lined up to keep the clock from running down.
Under a minute to go. Breeze with time over the middle. Colston has it tipped away by the rookie Anthony Smith.
So this offensive line has done a good job, and they do here as well. And you're going to see to Drew Brees' backside, there's a lot of area there for him to run. Initially, it looked like he'd get there without any problem. Joey Porter cuts him off, and then Aaron Smith was there and could have made the tackle short of the first down. But Drew Brees breaks that tackle and gets just enough.
2nd down and 10.
Now they've still got the 1 timeout, but now the clock is a factor. They need to start picking up yards in chunks.
quick throw. It's behind Bush. 3rd and 10. Coming up right after this game, Troy, is the OT.
Well, they've brought Anthony Smith, the rookie. Remember, they've got the injuries to Troy Polamalu and Deshae Townsend as well, and so they've got to go with the rookies in the backfield. Brees thought he had to get the ball out quick, and Bush wasn't looking.
3rd down and 10. Brees with time, fires wide open for a first down and a fumble. Pittsburgh has it. Steelers take over. If this is going to be reviewed, it will be called for by the booth. As we look at the catch, that's Copper. And it's coming out, it looks like, before the elbow hits down.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. It looked like the ball was clearly out before his elbow or anything else touched the ground. And just an unfortunate situation for the Saints. A good job by Drew Brees putting his team in a position. But Copper just unable to hang on to the ball.
Tyrone Carter, who's playing for the injured Troy Polamalu, was the one that knocked it free. And I believe it's Tyrone Carter who is down in the middle of all of his teammates and the training staff, and they're looking at Tyrone Carter after that tackle. Copper with a drop earlier, now a fumble. And now you just hope and pray that Tyrone Carter, and I believe that, and it is, Tyrone Carter is okay. And he came in with his head down as he made that hit on Terrence Copper.
Well, you see so many injuries. That looks pretty nasty there. Got him on the back of the neck, and you just see so many times when these defensive backs, that's who it usually is that tries tackling that way without keeping their helmet up. You see more injuries due to that.
The officiating crew has confirmed that it is a catch, a fumble, and the Steelers take over. Tyrone Carter appears to be okay. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are 39 seconds away from their 3rd victory of the season. Copper had played so well up until this final drive with a drop and now a catch and a fumble, and Carter is the one that forced it. Tonight's game being produced by Richie Zients, directed by Artie Kempner. The technical producer is Joe Stevens. Thanks to Steve Horn, our editorial consultant in the booth. The technical director is Rich Basili, and the audio mixer is Fred Aldis. Associate directors are Greg Scopatoni and Derek Manning. Production coordinator Francisco Contreras. Broadcast associates are Zach Fields and Rich Gross. New Orleans has a timeout left. So far, they seem willing to let the clock wind down. The pregame show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The studio technical supervisor, Jack Simmons. The senior producer of Fox Sports, Bill Brown. And the executive producers are Ed Gorn and David Hill. It was really a fun game, Troy, to watch here tonight between the Steelers and Saints. And Pittsburgh will win it 38-31.
Yeah, it was a well-played game by both offensive teams. And now the challenge for the Saints is going to be bouncing back and playing a tough ball game next week against the Cincinnati Bengals. And for the Steelers at 3-6, you know, maybe this is the type of game that they need in order to get their season turned around.
Needing a win against the New Orleans Saints, the first place New Orleans Saints to have any hope as they make their run down the stretch. We'll come back and wrap up our day, then the OT presented by Lowe's to follow on Fox.